So throughout all of that, I thought I had a problem. I really did. I thought I had a problem. I got down on myself. I was embarrassed. And a lot of people have told me, why were you embarrassed? Or why wouldn't you tell us? We want to be here for you. And I wanted to use this as an opportunity to basically share what's been going on, to update you, for me to be able to reflect on it, but also to let you know, as a listener, as an audience member, as part of my community, that you can get back, you can bounce back from these kinds of things, even when you feel like you're alone, even when you feel like you maybe can't. Okay, what's good, y'all? So glad to be back, because there's been a lot of things that's been going on in my life, a lot of new developments, and so many reasons as to why I have been away. And it's obviously things that I'm going to get into within this episode. But first off, I just want to acknowledge how rusty you can get just from the little bit of time you could take off. Sometimes I'm like, dang, I got to relearn how to do this, and this, because I basically run this by myself for the most part. But yeah, I'm just glad to be back, because as I said, there have been a lot of things that have been going on in my life that I felt like I should discuss with my audience, with my listeners, with my supporters, because it'll finally inform why I've been away and what maybe what I've been going through during that time. So first off, I got a new apartment. Last time you saw me, I was still living at home with my mom. Thankfully, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm finally out on my own. Again, this is my second or third time doing this, but I feel like this time should be for good. That's the hope. As long as I keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing, that should be the case. So I've had a new apartment for a little while now. I've been in this apartment since December. I have a roommate and everything, and I'll take it. I'm okay with that. Just as long as I'm kind of out on my own, being able to explore things on my own a little bit differently than I was when I was at home with my mom. So now I have my own spot. So I'm grateful for that. There's that. What else? Oh, I don't know if you could tell or not, but your boy been gaining weight on purpose. I know a lot of people are not doing that. There are many people that are, maybe gaining weight on accident, or they're not trying to, but I've purposely been trying to gain weight. So, just a little side note, your boy weigh about 220 now. Last time you see me, maybe I was 190, 200 or whatever. I've been working for this just because I've always wanted this weight on me. So yeah, I've been working for it, and that's a new development in my life. My clothes been feeling different. They've been fitting different. I'm actually starting to get kind of big for some of my clothes, which is a new experience for me, because I've usually been a slim dude. For most of my life, I've been a slim guy. I haven't really been a big guy, but a lot of people know me, or more people are starting to know me as bigger, as maybe buff, bulky. It's not that important, but it's good for me because I've been feeling more confident. I worked for it, and I feel like it looks good, so I'm happy about that. What else? Obviously, my hair is a little longer than last time you saw me. So that obviously comes with growth that you can see, but I always like that because I think it mirrors somewhat the growth that I've maybe been going through internally because of, the link that you've been seeing on the outside. So there's that as well. And now to really get into the nitty gritty of things, one of the biggest reasons why I felt like I needed to postpone when I was going to come back with the podcast is because I got into a car accident. So in January, right after I paid off my credit card debt, which was at one point seemed a little insurmountable, I paid that off. So I paid off my credit card debt and everything. And then literally the next day, I got into a car accident. And it was just like, oh my gosh. It was a very rough experience. Or maybe, actually, I think things turned out a lot better than they could have gone. But at the time, I thought it was going to be extremely detrimental to my year because I wanted to start this year off on a strong, start the year off on the same strong note that I felt like I ended last year on. I felt like I was coming into this year making momentum, making some strides, making some progress. And then literally, I think it was January 10th, I got into a car accident. So that car got totaled. And it's because I was on my way to work and I crashed basically. And it was very snowy. I am in Ohio. So it was very snowy and I, wrecked my car. So that was a very humbling experience because I felt like when I just made progress on this one thing, the very next day, I felt like I got set back to zero. But the best thing that I could do for me was to just think about, how am I going to get out of this? That was the first thing I thought of. How am I going to get out of this situation? Because it almost felt like I wasn't going to be able to, since I had just bounced back from something like that. And for it to happen right after I did, I was thinking maybe a part of me for a second thought, maybe I'm not meant to bounce back from this. It sounds crazy, but that was kind of where I was at mentally. Cause I'm thinking, how does this great thing that just happened turn into this detrimental thing at the beginning of the year? I haven't had anything like that happen I don't even know how long. Just to have the progress made and then to feel like it all got reversed in a second. So how I got through that situation was, I finally really learned how insurance worked. Thankfully, I had car insurance. So I wrecked my car, but it did get paid off. For the most part, I had to pay a little bit of the difference, but I was able to pay that off. And I'm thankful for that, because I was thinking I wasn't going to even be able to do that. I didn't think that the amount that I had to pay was going to be that. I thought it was going to be larger than it was. And because of that, I was thinking, okay, this is going to really put a hamper on how I'm thinking about things this year. If I had to start the year off this way, this is not a great start. So, I like to think about how you finish, but I'm just going to have so much farther to go from this point when I could have been a little further ahead, or been farther along in the process if that didn't happen. So when it happened, I was hurt. I was confused, but thankfully I had my immediate community. And the reason why I say that is because I didn't want to tell anybody, to be honest. When I got into my car accident, I was embarrassed. When I talked to a lot of people after the fact, they were saying, why are you embarrassed? And I just felt like, who else do I know that's going through this? Or who else do I know that has a car, just got into a car accident? I feel like, yes, it might be common, or yes, it happens here in America, but who do I know in my circle that it happens to? When it doesn't happen within your circle, it almost feels as if it doesn't really happen normally around you, because you don't hear the people around you talk about it. So I'm thinking this happens to me after I'm making this progress, and then this happens. So of course I'm not excited to tell anybody about it. And the people I did tell immediately were my mom and my dad. So of course I immediately told them. After that, I basically kept it on the tuck. Sometimes when I talk to my friends now and I tell them that I got into a car accident, they're like, I didn't know you got into a car accident, or you didn't tell me that. I'm thinking I did, but I'm so far removed from it that I have to remember that even happened. And it's kind of a double-edged sword in a way, because I thought it was good that I wasn't telling too many people, because it wasn't something to be proud of. It wasn't something that I wanted to talk about while I was in it. I prefer to talk about things after I make it out of it, because I think I have strength in that form. There's power in vulnerability, and I can understand that. But I saw something on Instagram recently, and it was about how you really shouldn't speak in times when you're weak, because the confidence and the strength that you need in that moment to be able to get through it, you kind of need to keep it to yourself, at least a little bit, maybe. So that's kind of what I was doing. I thought that the people that needed to know, that absolutely needed to know, I told them immediately, because they were going to help me get through it. And then everyone else, I was thinking, I'll tell you when I'm past it, because I'll be able to speak about it in a much different light as I am right now. If I was to talk to you about this car accident while I'm in it, I might not have had the best attitude, the best tone, the best demeanor, and that might make you lose confidence as a listener. Whereas I'm talking to you about it as I made it through it, to show you that you can too. As challenging as I thought this situation was going to be, I did make it through it, because I got into a car accident in January. So January 10th, I got into a car accident. February 14th, Valentine's Day, I gifted myself another car. I finally got another car. And that whole month in between was it felt very long. It felt like a long process. But from now when you're seeing this and when I got my car, so much time has passed that I feel farther removed from it, to the point where I almost have to remind myself, I got into a car accident. Like, it's a new car, so obviously that's a different thing. But just how my mindset has kind of transformed since then, I feel like I'm better to talk about it, because I made it through it. And I feel like, okay, at the time I didn't think I was going to bounce back so easily, but I bounced back relatively easily. And I'm thankful for that. That might not have been the case, or it might not have been able to help you, or I might not have been good to myself in that time had I spoken about it as I was going through it. So I'm thankful I did that. And that's one of the biggest things that's happened to me since then, because I was like, okay, I've made it past this. If I can make it past this at the start of the year, I should be all right. And I could probably bounce back from some other things that may come along, because this year had hands. Like at the beginning of the year, I was telling everybody 2025 is starting off throwing hands. I mean, I am in a fight for my life already. How am I going to get to work? How am I going to, still stay consistent in the gym? All these different things. Some of these things might not seem important, but I could easily see how me being without a car was going to make me spiral and make me kind of go down into maybe a depression. And I think I did it briefly, but I don't want to stay there. So I thought about, how can I get out of this situation? What do I need to do? I had my community. I slowly started to tell more and more people. And then they told me, we're here for you. We want to know these kinds of things. And I couldn't be upset at that, because if it happened to any of my friends, I would want to know as well. But I also would understand if it's something that you want to wait to tell me, because I might be telling you, but you might not be able to help me in the way that I would like you to, or I might need you to in the moment. So I just thought it was best for me to take a step back and, pause the podcast, because January was basically when I thought about bringing it back. But after that, I said, I kind of need to put this on hold, and I need to go ahead and make sure that I have more of my life in order. I'm not saying I need to be perfect, but I need to have more of my life in order so I can come back stronger, more resilient, and tell my audience, tell my community how I bounced back from it and what I was able to do. So those are some of the things that have really kept me away. I do think that this is going to be a different season, obviously, because I'm at home in my hometown, my home city, but I have my own apartment. This is the first for me. I've been very, very dialed in, I would say, as far as what I've been working on. And when I say working on, I don't really mean for the podcast. It's really just what I've been working on for me as a person, what I've been trying to strive for in my life. And I think the better I make myself and treat myself as a person, obviously I'll show up better as a host, as a podcaster, as a storyteller, as a speaker. So I thought it was important for me to take that time away. And I felt pressure also behind that, because I feel like the people that I know that are in this space, in the podcasting space, in the, entertainment space, media space, I've seen others take time away. And I usually pride myself on being very consistent, but I obviously wasn't doing anything during that time. So that was challenging for me as well, because I know I'm very consistent, but I also try to signify just how important this was for me to be able to bounce back from, and to do what I need to do at the base level so I can come back and be the person that I need to be for this here. Because if I couldn't do that, I think they would show up in how I'm speaking, how I look, and all those different things if I didn't do what I needed to do to take care of myself. So throughout all of that, I thought I had a problem. I really did. I thought I had a problem. I got down on myself. I was embarrassed. And a lot of people have told me, why were you embarrassed? Or why wouldn't you tell us? We want to be here for you. And I wanted to use this as an opportunity to basically share what's been going on, to update you, for me to be able to reflect on it, but also to let you know, as a listener, as an audience member, as part of my community, that you can get back, you can bounce back from these kinds of things, even when you feel like you're alone, even when you feel like you maybe can't, or you think that you need to be perfect in this season. I would say do what you need to do for you, because when you do, it's going to allow you to show up better. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it at first. I'm telling you, I really didn't. I really thought I had a problem, because I just wanted to be to myself. But I think we can all relate to that. You're going through something, and I'll say I can understand when you want to be alone with this thing for a little bit, but I do think it's important to share with your community, because then someone has your back. Someone also knows what's going on and can maybe offer you the help that you may need, whether that's, therapy, your car breaking down, or just any kind of thing where you may need to lean on others for support and for help, because I was not sure how I was going to do it. And I could see how this thing here was going to affect everything else that I was going to do if I didn't get this in order. So again, I felt like that took priority at the time, and that's why I really took my break. So I plan to be back now. I mean, very consistent. I'm trying to get a lot of things set up and in line for you all to see, some people for you all to hear from, some conversation that I would like to have with different people about different things. So yeah, it's been a journey already, because I have to remember that I even went through that. And I think in the back of my mind, that's a good thing, because it shows how far removed I am from it now. I've been able to get through it. I've been resilient. I've been strong throughout it. I was numb at first because I was thinking there's no way I'm going to be able to make it through this thing. How am I going to do this? I can't really fathom it. It's just something that began at the beginning of the year when I made so much progress at the end of the year. How was I going to get through it? And then before you knew it, prayer, work, community, some faith, of course, I got through it. And here we are. So again, I'm in this new apartment. I'm a little older. Of course, I'm a little bigger. My hair is longer. I'm just happy. I'm happy. I'm in a much better space than I would have been had you seen me 4 or 5 months ago. It just wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have been good. But from here, I should be okay. That's the plan. And I plan to bring more content for you all. So yeah, I'm glad that the podcast is back. It's been a minute, but this is one of those times where I felt like I really had to do it. I really needed to take a break from myself, because if I didn't, the product and just who I am and how I was going to show up was not going to be good to you, the viewer. So I figured that it was going to be good for me to do what I needed to do so I could show up better for you, so that I can maybe still pour into you and, encourage you, inspire you, whatever that may be, whatever I may be for you. So I could still do that as long as I showed up as the person that I needed to be. So again, my name is Jariah. We are back. This is, I can't remember what season. I think it's season 6. But yeah, we've been doing this since 2022. We back. It's summer. So we going to have some stuff for you. And I'm glad that we back. So once again, I hope that you were able to take something away from this episode. Please, if you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share it with a friend. Please leave a review, all these different things, so we can continue to move this forward. More people can learn about the podcast, about the community, can join, offer their insight, offer their perspective, and different things like that. But once again, my name is Jariah. I'm the host of The Highlight Reel, and this has been your episode. Peace out.